Episode 56 HG August 11, 2023. New letter to 10 Assistant Attorney Generals sent today. Copy and paste if you would like. Dear Assistant Attorney General, Dr. Anthony Fauci's innovation of parallel track in 1989 A1 allowed human use of the drug AZT in AIDS drugs clinical trials, and at the same time A2 allowed human use of the drug ganciclovir to counteract side effects of AZT causing human blindness. Dr. Fauci's parallel track could be a template for indoor residential wood-burning stove. Parallel track in 2023 for B1 allowed human use of indoor residential wood-burning stoves after certification as safe by the EPA using emission standards of 2 grams PM2.5 per hour, National Stationary Performance Standards, for wood stove certification, NSPS standards for cordwood as of 2020. NSPS subject to change in response to threatened lawsuit by 10 Assistant Attorney Generals in August 2023, at the same time as B2, allowed human use of Purple Air PM2.5 monitors in the yards of near neighbors of indoor residential wood stove users in order to detect PM2.5 above 35 micrograms per cubic meter, National Ambient Air Quality Standards NAAQS limit in 2023. Citizen testimony in February 2023 hearings on changing the NOx to 25 micrograms per cubic meter PM2.5 safe limits was overwhelmingly for the change to a lower 24-hour limit, approximately 250 to 4. The reason for parallel track in 1989 was that AZT helped against AIDS but contributed to development of blindness. That development of blindness could be counteracted by human use of ganciclovir. The human health benefits of allowing deviation from rules of the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, outweighed the costs of breaking an FDA rule. The reason for parallel track in 2023 is that indoor residential wood burning contributed to the development of many health problems and early deaths, especially to near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners who developed these health problems earlier because of hyperlocalized proximity to indoor residential wood stove emissions. In that way, as the interested parties, gay men with AIDS, but only citizens, not drug vendors nor healthcare workers, nor employees of the FDA, lobbying Dr. Fauci in 2019 were the early victims of AIDS, primarily the gay community, as the interested parties in 2023 lobbying the 10 Assistant Attorney Generals are the near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners. The early victims of PM2.5 pollution, wood burning is 90% PM2.5, particulate pollution of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size, to infiltrate the human lung, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. In that way, as the interested parties, near neighbors in 2023 are not usually at the table when making decisions that affect adding a parallel track to what the EPA already does. Near neighbors are only citizens, not indoor residential wood stove vendors nor employees of the EPA. One response to correspondence only a few weeks ago to one of the Assistant Attorney Generals was the Assistant Attorney General advising the citizen that this was a state matter and to ask the state, in this case, Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, DNR, for advice on what to do about the PM2.5 pollution from indoor residential wood burning. The response recently from the DNR was indifference with no helpful information provided. The response from municipalities and local health departments is indifference. A vote of a Wisconsin Conservation Congress by citizens this spring was affirmative on the question of the state of Wisconsin handing out free Purple Air PM2.5 monitors to citizens who are near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners emitting PM2.5 that enters the yards and infiltrates the homes of near neighbors, requiring the near neighbors to stay out of their yards in their sealed homes to use air purifiers constantly. Some of those near neighbors now work at home, and in addition to this wood smoke causing health problems, indoor residential wood burning interferes with near neighbors' ability to work and earn a living. Why Purple Air PM2.5 monitors? Purple Air PM2.5 monitors are already the PM2.5 monitors used alongside EPA $100,000 PM2.5 monitors on US EPA Air Now maps of smoke and fire, correlated to EPA monitors with a simple mathematical formula. Why rely on laser $249 PM2.5 monitors, rather than $100,000 EPA PM2.5 monitors? $100,000 EPA PM2.5 monitors weigh PM2.5 to determine if it is gravel or wood density before spitting out results every hour. Purple Air PM2.5 monitors are located in near neighbors' yards, so the odds that they are measuring PM2.5 of wood density are high. Nevertheless, the purple air monitors correlated with EPA $100,000 monitors, whether they are handed out by the government or bought by near neighbors for $249, are reliable. If a human being is running a temperature, it is a good idea to have a thermometer at home so that if a reading of 100 happens, the patient can go to the hospital and have their temperature tested by some expensive and probably unnecessarily accurate hospital thermometer. Readings showing accurate and timely PM2.5 levels pinpointing the indoor residential wood-burning source are only possible using hyperlocalized monitors. $100,000 EPA monitors are usually located near industrial sites, measuring both PM2.5 of gravel density from construction and PM2.5 of wood density from other industrial emissions such as those from coal and biomass plants, although wood-burning emissions at biomass wood-burning plants are not counted toward climate goals. Because state and local governments look to the Environmental Protection Agency to set air quality standards and to set methods of air quality regulation, the parallel track of certifying wood stoves at the same time as handing out purple air PM2.5 monitors to near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners who complain of pollution entering their yards and infiltrating their homes needs to come from the federal government. The National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, NIAID, initiated parallel track in 1989. PM2.5 pollution is a carrier of disease, not exactly infectious disease in the normal sense, but one example recently is that PM2.5 increases antibiotic resistance. Antibiotics against infectious disease will not work as effectively if the pollution from indoor residential wood burning is allowed to continue unregulated by PM2.5 monitors in the yards of complaining near neighbors, the canaries in a coal mine of pollution that causes human disease, and also contributes to hastening climate change. U.S. Assistant Attorney Generals, Deputy Attorney Generals and General Counsel have, by threatening this lawsuit concerning an agency of the federal government, have made near neighbors of polluting indoor residential wood burners your constituents. Please act both to sue the EPA if they do not act in a timely manner by C1, changing to lower pollution limits allowed for indoor wood stove emissions, and C2, asking an agency of the federal government concerned with human health, such as NIAID, to act from the top, from the federal government, to hand out PM2.5 purple air monitors to any citizen near neighbor of an indoor residential wood burner who complains of polluting wood smoke entering their yards and infiltrating their homes. End of letter. Beginning to allow a complaint-based system for indoor residential wood burning emissions in 2023 would allow a parallel track of 1. Flawed wood stove certification and 2. A complaint-based system for monitoring and eliminating polluting indoor wood stove emissions. Dr. Tony Fauci's innovative use of a government agency parallel track encompassing 1. AIDS clinical trials using AZT alongside 2. Allowing use of the experimental drug ganciclovir while conducting a clinical trial of AZT, was successful in saving lives while preventing blindness, for instance, in 1989. Most of the articles noted here are about the adverse effects of PM2.5 on human health. Wood smoke is 90% PM2.5, particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lung, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. Indoor residential wood burning emissions of PM2.5 cause health problems and early deaths for near neighbors. The hyperlocalized emissions from indoor wood burning need to be monitored by $249 citizen scientist-owned purple air PM2.5 monitors, or purple air PM2.5 monitors handed out for free by the federal government or a health department, and if those wood-burning emissions that reach the yards and infiltrate the homes of near neighbors exceed National Ambient Air Quality Standards, NOx, for PM2.5 as a consequence of the wood-burning emissions from the stack of a nearby indoor residential wood burner, each wood-burning stove should be shut down because of violation of NOx standards of 35 micrograms PM2.5 per cubic meter in a 24-hour period, U.S. current standard, regardless of whether the wood stove in question is certified by the EPA. The Office of the Inspector General, OIG, watchdog of the EPA, stated in a February 2023 report that the U.S. EPA wood stove certification program is flawed and allows loopholes caused by the lobbying of the wood stove industry to result in many or most wood stoves certified actually being non-compliant with the EPA's own lax wood stove emission standards. The EPA emission standard, New Source Performance Standards, NSPS, for cordwood burning stoves is 2 grams PM2.5 emissions per hour. Cordwood is the type of wood most often used by indoor residential wood burners. If wood stoves actually were operated for 24 hours per day at 2 grams emissions of PM2.5 per hour, the first nearest neighbor at 20 feet away from the stack would experience PM2.5 at 89.3% above the allowed limit of PM2.5 NOx in a 24-hour period, and the second nearest neighbor at 80 feet away would experience PM2.5 at 10.5% above the allowed PM2.5 NOx in a 24-hour period. Which violation is more important for the EPA to note? Either that, 1, through loopholes causing non-compliance, even certified wood stoves are overwhelmingly more polluting than the safe performance standards of EPA NSPS, or that 2, certified wood stoves that meet the NSPS standards still emit pollution that affects near neighbors at levels exceeding NOx allowed by EPA standards. Solid fuels such as wood and coal inevitably emit particulates. Carbon capture after decades of research does not work, and is expensive to research. However, taxpayer subsidies to biomass, wood burning, plants and 4, solid fuel burning, carbon capture research keep these inefficiently heating, wood burning plants, and futile, carbon capture, industries alive. The 10 assistant attorney generals threatening to sue the EPA to 1, provide clarity to wood stove vendors, should instead 2, ask the EPA to enact a complaint-based system of controlling wood stove emissions by use of near-neighbor-owned PM2.5 monitors, using PM2.5 data as evidence to shut down polluting indoor residential wood stoves, one by one if necessary. Purple Air PM2.5 monitors are already being used on US EPA AirNow maps of smoke and fire alongside $100,000 EPA PM2.5 monitors. Wood burning emits more PM2.5 and CO2 than the fossil fuel coal burning. Wood burning emits 450 times the PM2.5 of the fossil fuel natural gas burning. One of the EPA's responses to the 10 Assistant Attorney General's threat of a lawsuit is that the EPA will be unable to change NSPS for wood stoves until 2027, although the EPA is required by statute to change NSPS every 8 years, and since 2015 was the last change of NSPS, the EPA is required to change NSPS, probably to lower safe limits, in 2023, this year. Beginning to allow a complaint-based system for indoor residential wood burning emissions in 2023 would allow a parallel track of 1, flawed, wood stove certification and 2, a complaint-based system for monitoring and eliminating polluting indoor wood stove emissions. Dr. Tony Fauci's innovative use of a government agency parallel track encompassing 1, AIDS clinical trials alongside 2, allowing use of one more experimental drug ganciclovir while conducting a clinical trial of AZT, was successful in saving lives while preventing blindness, for instance, in the case of a young man with AIDS in 1989. Emails of 10 assistant attorney generals preparing to sue the EPA to provide clarity for indoor residential wood stove manufacturers, vendors, and users. Instead, the assistant attorneys general should ask for a complaint-based system in place of the failed wood stove certification program. The states involved are Alaska, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington, as well as the Puget Sound Clean Air Agency. Contact emails for the 10 assistant or deputy attorney generals and a general counsel are cody.doig@alaska.gov. Alaska Senior Assistant Attorney General email, Cody Doig. jason.james@ilag.gov. Illinois Assistant Attorney General email, Jason James. Goldstein@oag.state.md.us. Maryland Special Assistant Attorney General email, Stephen Goldstein. Turner.smith@mass.gov. Massachusetts Assistant Attorney General email, Turner Smith. Peter.Serto@ag.state.mn.us. Minnesota Special Assistant Attorney General email, Peter Serto. Lisa.Morelli@law.njoag.gov. New Jersey Deputy Attorney General email, Lisa Morelli. Nicholas.Batino@ag.newyork.gov. New York Assistant Attorney General email, Nicholas Batino. Paul.Garahan@doj.state.or.us. Oregon Attorney in Charge email, Paul Garahan, one of 2 or attorneys. Steve.Novick@doj.state.or.us. Oregon Special Assistant Attorney General email, Steve Novick, one of 2 or attorneys. Nick.Persampieri@vermont.gov. Vermont Assistant Attorney General email, Nick Persampieri. Caroline.Kress@atg.wa.gov. Washington Assistant Attorney General email, Caroline Kress. Jennifer.Scleenair.gov. General Counsel, Puget Sound Clean Air Agency, Jennifer A. Dold. A new icon has been added to the RAWSEP President's website, which is now the nearest right icon. The icon is an ask that has already been described in episode 56 GB, description of the parties who should be at the table when deciding on safe wood stove emission limits and fenceline measurements, rather than wood stove certification, and emails to contact 10 deputy or assistant attorney generals and 1 general counsel. Those PDFs are included at the icon link. Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, see https://rawsepresidents.wordpress.com and click on the nearest right icon for the ask. Contact 10 Attorneys General https://rawsepresident.wordpress.com/ Please contact Attorneys General about August suit versus E P A asking for certainty for wood stove users. RAWSEP asks for complaint-based SITM based on PM monitor data exceeding EP/. To the right of that, Barbie goes to the dating game https://rawsepresidents.wordpress.com. 1 Barbie goes to the dating game / to the right of that, cookies that may contain rocks are recalled https://rawsepresidents.wordpress.com/ cookies that may contain rocks are recalled to the right of that, the fox owns the forest card game. https://rawsepresidents.wordpress.com/ the fox owns the forest card game TBA. Then to the right of that, the latest months, August and July 2023, of PDFs of articles with URLs to search on https://rawsepresidents.wordpress.com/ 1-August-2023-PDFs-of-URLs and https://rawsepresidents.wordpress.com/ 1-July-2023-PDFs-of-URLs. To the right of that, stickers to hand out for RAWSEP, games such as 1. Bingo for RAWSEP, 2. Crosswords for RAWSEP, 3. PM2.5's Jeopardy free game https://youtube.be/lnsg32pydnc 4. PM2.5 free Monopoly https://youtube.be/cuck1pscqnq and Endwood Smoke Monopoly 5. Vending machines for PM2.5 monitors, and icon links to 30-minute YouTube videos and Spotify podcasts as well as podcasts.google.com, Castbox and Pocket Cast. Pocket Cast is only free on the phone app. Pocket Cast works on Apple phones, and, below those icons, icon links to monthly URLs of PDFs from June 2023 to May 2022.